Okay, so it's a decision-making statement. That means you need to have the system decide whether to do something or not. So that's what we call decision-making. And for example, normally you arrange the statements in an order so that it will, by following that order, it will achieve the task. Now, sometimes we have to say, if this is the case, then do this, otherwise do something else. You're asking the system to make a decision. And that's when you use if statement. The switch statement is an alternate to writing a bunch of if statements, many if statements. If you need to combine if statements in a certain way, you can use switch statement instead. So switch statement is an alternate method. So one can write program without it using if. But I'm going to teach both if and the switch. So the if statement basically says if, and then a condition in parentheses. If that condition is true, then do this. That's what it basically says. If the condition is not true, just ignore this statement, move on to the next. So whatever that is written in if statement will be only done if the condition is true. And you're supposed to write it this way. You write the if and the condition in parentheses, and the statement on the next line indented. Indented means with a few blank spaces, like 4 or 5 blank spaces. The reason is, if you write it this way, a reader can easily understand which statement is in the if and which statement is outside the if. And so you're supposed to follow that rule. By the way, you're supposed to follow some certain rules when you're writing program, and some of you are not following that. In the last project, I noticed that some of you didn't write the block. You're supposed to write a block of comment that explains what the program does. And within that block or after the block, you're supposed to have your name type as a comment. These have to be comments that you write in every programming project. Okay, it's a good practice for programmer, and professional programmers always do that, because other programmers who want to use that program first have to understand what the program does, and that's why this block explains what the program does, and you're supposed to practice that by writing that in every project. So in the future, I didn't penalize this time, but in the future I will penalize if you don't write that block explaining what the program does. So in that last assignment, last project, the block should have said, this program calculates the total value of money collected from parking meters, and then also calculates the share for David and share for the parking office. That's all you need to say in that block. And then you put your name as programmer. Remember to do that in the future projects, otherwise you'll be losing at least 5% of the grade.
We have to put comments about what the program does in our names.
Yes.
Okay.
You learned already how to write a comment, right? There are two.
/ and then you write, yeah.
Yeah, the / or / if you're writing a block, a whole, paragraph, then it'll be better to start with the / like that. Let me remind you exactly how. / and then you write the comment explaining what this program does. And if it extends to several lines, you end it with */. You can end it on the left end or at the end of this line, anywhere, */. And that will be the block. And within this block, you can put your name somewhere in there. Programmer is so-and-so. That is required in every project. So remember to do that. And these indentations I'm explaining when you write if statement, these indentations are also required. Otherwise, you'll be losing points for not doing that. All right, proceeding to the next version of the if statement. If you have many statements to do when the condition is true, then you would write if condition, And then you write this block indented. As you can see, the entire block is indented by 4 or 5 spaces. They have to begin with the curly bracket and with the curly bracket. If you have many statements in the if. If you have only one, if you have 2 statements inside the if, you still need those brackets. Otherwise, the second statement will be outside. The system will recognize second statement as one outside the if. So you have to be careful to include brackets if you want more than one statement in the if statement. So
I had a question about the last slide.
Sure.
You just explain like what it does, like the semicolons, why they're after just statement 1 and statement 2 specifically. It's not after the if and not after the rest of it.
No, the semicolon has to go behind every statement in the program.
I know every statement in the program, but okay, I get it.
Yeah. We'll see examples in a few minutes. Okay, so the condition you write in the parentheses, only if it is true, it'll execute everything in the block. If it is false, it'll ignore everything in the block and it'll go on to the next statement. So if you don't write the curly bracket, so let me put on the board. If I say something like if x greater than 0, and suppose that I wanted to do things if x greater than 0, x equal to x plus 5, semicolon, and then I wanted to do C out x. And suppose that x had a negative 5 before. So if x is greater than 0, then you wanted to do both of these, but it's only going to do this if x is 0. If x is not 0, it will not do this, but it will go on to this. So this will be executed even if x greater than 0 is not true, because this is not inside the if. Okay, so it has to be inside the if to do only when x greater than 0 is true. So the only way to do that is to put the curly bracket here and here. Then they're both inside the if. If you don't put the bracket, the second one is outside. If the condition is false, it will ignore the entire block and move on. Okay, so now you could write the if statement this way. It'll be, this compiler wouldn't care, but it's for the sake of readers, easy to read format that we write that broken into 2 lines and use indentation. And that's a standard rule for programmers, because otherwise it'll be difficult to read. The condition can be an inequality, so like x greater than 0, I wrote, or greater than or equal to, and things like that. But greater than or equal to cannot be, this math way of writing it is not going to work, because you don't have that on the keyboard. The keyboard doesn't support that. Okay, someone just came in. So therefore, the greater than or equal to has to be typed as greater than and equal next to it. So let me go to that display. So greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal, equal, equal. Okay, let me explain the equal, equal. If you write x equal to y, that's an assignment, right? You're assigning y to x. And so equal sign has meaning assignment. So therefore, if you want to write a condition that checks whether x is equal to y or not, that would be x equal to y. This means if x and y have equal value, then this will evaluate to be true. This is a condition. And if they don't have equal value, it will be false. And if you want to ask the system to, so this can go in an if statement. If, that means if x and y have equal value, then do this.
Then is yes, right?
Yes, something like you want to put yes. Yeah, that means if X and Y are equal, you want to print the word yes on the screen, and this will do it. If you want to check and see if X is not equal to Y, X exclamation equal. In C++, exclamation always means not. So if X is not equal to Y, then do something. That's what that means. Okay, we can skip that. Let's go to examples. You can, now you already learned before earlier that storing character array in the memory and storing number 65 in the memory are identical in the memory. In the memory, they are just same zeros and ones. So therefore, there's no distinction between character array and 65. So anytime you want to compare numbers, I mean, you can compare characters. So if I compare characters, the alphabet A corresponds to 65, as you know, and B corresponds to 66. So basically, you'll be comparing these numbers. So you can compare the characters. And so as you can see, if you want to put them in alphabetical order, then you just compare them. And if A less than B, then A has to go first. So whatever the values are, you have some variables that are holding character values. You can compare those variables, even if they have character values. You are basically comparing the decimal equivalents. You can use that to put them in alphabetical order, anything like that. So basically, something you don't do in math is comparing characters. In programming, you can do that. And that's how all the word processing programs are written, by using character processing. And you had to learn processing numbers as well as characters. You're learning everything about programming. All right, so letter A in quotes, less than C in quote, that condition will be true because A is 65 and C is 67. So you can do that comparison directly. A not equal to 65, this condition is false because A and 65 are equal. So let's see an example. Suppose that you want to write pass-fail grade for a class, then you can write this if statement. The grade has the number grade, and you can say if grade greater than or equal to 60, then see how it pass. Now, if you want to use if statement, there are other ways to do it, do pass-fail, but you can use if statement to write pass-fail by writing two if statements. If grade greater than 60, actually greater than or equal to, then see out pass. And then you write another if statement that says if grade less than 60, this should be greater than or equal to, less than 60, then see out fail. That's one way to do it, but there are better ways that you will learn in the next section. Okay, so here's an example. If val is a negative, val has a negative value, then replace it with positive. Basically same as replacing with absolute value. We can write the program as if val less than 0, then multiply val by -1 and put it back in val. That will be same as making it positive, same as doing absolute value. You're replacing val with absolute value. If you need to do more than one statement, then you need bracket around the statements. If val less than 0, I want to do both of these. See out the word negative and then also increment val by 10. I want to do both. If you miss the bracket, you'll be only doing the negative, writing the negative, but you won't be doing this because that you won't be doing this inside the if. In other words, this will be done even if val is not negative. If you miss the bracket, if you miss that, then the val equal to val plus 10 is outside the if, which means that statement will be executed regardless of val less than 0 or not. And so you have to be careful with that. Make sure to put the put that in, the curly bracket in. Okay, so here's another example. Two variables, ch1 and ch2, have some character values, and I want to put those characters in alphabetical order. Then all I have to do is, if ch1 is less than ch2, then I write ch1 first, and below that, write ch2 on the next line. Then write another if statement. If ch2 is less than ch1, the other way, then write ch2 first and ch1 underneath it. So two if statements are needed, but later you will learn a better way. All right, next example is a program. So here is a company that wants to give 6% raise to employees whose current salary is below 20,000, and others don't get the increase. Only the people with the salary less than 20,000 will get the increase. And it says you need to get the current salary from the user and compute and print the new salary. Okay, so you have to pay attention to the variables, and you don't need more than one variable. Very often students use salary for the current salary and new salary for the new salary. It's better not to do that. I'll explain why. So I have the word variable salary for storing the salary, and I'm asking for the salary, interactively getting the salary stored in this variable. After that, if salary is less than 2,000, then I need to increase the salary by 6%. Means I had to calculate 6% of salary. That's 6% of salary right there. Add it to salary, only then you're increasing the salary. This is the salary after increasing by 6%. Put that back in salary. Okay, using the salary here as the variable is a better way. If you use end salary or new salary, something like that, it's not wrong, but then, you know, logically speaking, it's not going to work properly, because now you had to write end salary here, right? To see out the end salary. The see out statement is outside the if, and see out the end salary. Okay, now what happens is, suppose the salary, so let's say I wrote the program this way. Suppose the salary is not less than 20,000 for one person. Okay, you got the salary from the user in here, and salary is not less than 20,000. So the increment is not going to be given. So this statement will not be executed. Now this statement is going to execute, and new salary, end salary has no value. See that problem? So if salary less than 20,000 is not true. Let's say salary is 30,000. I got the salary from the user and I have 30,000. So this is not true, condition is not true, so this will not execute, and this will execute. This is outside the if. And now this statement cannot work because end salary doesn't have a value. Understand the problem? So by creating another variable, you made it difficult. If I eliminate that and keep it as
salary,
if you keep it as salary and keep this as salary, then salary has a value always, right? So the program will work. In other words, if the salary is not increased for one person, it will still write the salary, the current salary as the new salary. The current salary is the new salary if the person doesn't get increased. Neil, yeah, go ahead. What's the question?
for end salary, wouldn't you have to declare it in the program for it to have a value?
Yeah, you had to declare it, but whether you declare it or not, you can see the problem. The end salary will not calculate if the person doesn't qualify. Then you cannot print end salary. If you put end salary here, that's not going to work. You're going to get error message because end salary doesn't have a value. So just use the same variable, then salary always has a value. So this way, if the person doesn't get the increase, you are printing the original salary as the salary. So that the person reading it will understand this person didn't get the increase. So if the person gets the increase salary will be printing. So you have to think about those details when you're writing program with the if statement. Okay, so here, yeah, this is a programming task that I'm explaining the technique here, and you need to remember this technique. It'll come up again and again later on after we learn advanced concepts in programming. You will still be given this problem again and again with the new situation. So the idea is very simple. If you are finding minimum of many numbers, any number of numbers, this is the technique. It's like this. If let's say I have a few numbers given to me, like, yeah, I'm going to make up some numbers. So it's 7, 5, 11, 6. All right, these are the numbers. I'm just going to work with this and explain the technique. To find the smallest of this, we will use another memory cell called min or min-val, whatever you want to call it. So the min is another memory cell in which you first start with the first value. You know, that's a natural start. So take the 7 in there and copy. So first copy the first number into the min, and then compare the min to the next. If the next is smaller, then copy that in here. You can throw away the 7 now. So next one is smaller, so therefore 7 is erased, 5 goes in here. Now compare this one, the min, to the next. See, if you compare these numbers to each other, there'll be a lot of comparisons. There will be too many comparisons. Comparisons are hard work for the computer. I mean, harder than anything else. So, and take more time. So you should minimize the comparisons. And this technique I'm explaining will minimize the comparisons. Start with the first number, copy it into the min, and compare that to the second. If the second one, no, the second one is smaller, so copy that into the min, erasing the previous. And now compare the min to the third. Third one is not smaller, do nothing. Compare that 5 to the next. It's not smaller, do nothing. Compare that to the next. It's not smaller, do nothing. You're done. You have the minimum. So that's the technique. And for some reason, you know, as we proceed to the next chapter, some students forget this technique and they come up with their own way of comparing each other. If you compare each other, it'll be too many comparisons, and that's not acceptable program. It'll be, you'll get 0. So you have to use these techniques that I explained to achieve the task.
Professor, can you explain that one more time? My audio kicked in and out.
You were going in and out?
Yeah, the audio was kind of it was
Audio was in and out. Okay.
yeah.
Let me explain one more time using another set of numbers. If I have 7, 5, 3, 9, 11, I'm looking for the smallest number. So to find the smallest number, you declare another variable, another memory cell called min, and you start by copying 7 into it. And then compare the min, always compare the min to each number. Compare min to next number, it is smaller. The next number is smaller. Copy that into min. When you copy that, this will erase the original value 5. Okay, now you have 5 in it. You're comparing now min to the next. Always compare the min to the next. And the next one is smaller, so now that will be copied in. Copy that. Anything you find smaller, you copy that into min, erasing the previous. Now compare the min to the next. The next is not smaller, do nothing. Compare to the next, not smaller, do nothing. Only if it is smaller, you're going to copy. And that's the technique. When you finish comparing min to all of the numbers, you're finished. Min has the minimum. So see out min, you have the answer. So here is the program for that. I have to show you for 3 numbers, but the same technique applies even if we have 50 numbers. So how do we handle 50 numbers? We are not ready for that. That's coming up much later in the course. So when we learn how to handle 50 numbers, you still you'll be asked to find minimum of the 50 numbers. You have to use the same technique. The same technique applies for no matter how big the list is. So here we are asking, we're going to work with 3 numbers. So declare the 3 variables and then declare a min val to show the min. Get the 3 numbers from the user in the 3 variables, and then start by copying the first value into min val. And then if n2 is less than min val, copy n2 into min val. So only if n2 is smaller, it'll be copied. Otherwise, nothing will be done. Min val will have the n1. If n3 is smaller than min val, copy n3 into min val. And that's it. After that, whatever min val has is the lowest. Okay, so min val has the lowest. So see out the min val and you're done. So this is the program. The same program, same idea will be applied when we work with large lists of numbers and characters. Even if the n1, n2, n3 are characters, we can still find the lowest character. The lowest character means the earliest in the list of alphabets by using the same comparison method, same technique. Okay, so let's understand bool. Here we just got into this comparisons, and comparisons means the true and false will be the result of comparison. So when I compare 2 variables, like if I compare x to y like this, x greater than y, this is called a logical expression. This expression evaluates to be true or false. So in computer programming, these values, true and false, became important that they sometimes become data for some certain situations. So therefore, they decided to adopt the idea that true and false can be also data. And they, if they are data, they are a different type. They're called bool type. The bool word comes out of the Boolean word. The true and false are logical type values. We also call them Boolean values, and they are of the data type bool. So in the C++ language, the data types that we learned before were int to mean integer, float to mean floating point type, and then char. These were the 3 data types we learned before. Now you have the 4th one, bool. So bool type data means a bool type variable means a variable that can have true or false as value. So you can only store true or false in a bool type variable. So I can declare a variable as bool, like I'm writing on the board, bool w. Then I can write w equal to x greater than y. The right side of equal sign here is a logical expression. The value of that will be a true or false, and that will be stored in w. So that kind of statement is valid. And here's an example. X equal to 7, y equal to 4, and then bool w, and w equal to x greater than or equal to y. That means if you write something like that, always the inequality of comparison will be the first one to be done. It'll do this first, and then assign the result to w. The equal sign here is the last operation. It'll do everything other than the equal sign will be carried out first. So you don't need parentheses anywhere. It'll carry out the right side of the equal sign, and whatever the result of that is, it'll be assigned to w. So w is going to have a true or false. In this case, 7 is greater than 4, so w will have a true. And can I print that w? Yes, you can print that, and you will get the letter, you will get the word true printed. And the W can be written inside the if, the parentheses of the if statement as your condition, because a condition evaluates to be true or false. So in place of the condition, you can have a Boolean type variable that has true or false as value. So if you write if W, see out yes, that means if W has true in it, then print the words yes. That's what it means. You can use a Boolean type variable in place of condition that you write in if statement. So if W is true, then do this. If W is false, then don't do this. That's what that means. The W is expected to be true or false. Now, if I want to say, yeah, that's coming up next. So let's wait for that. So the idea you learned here is Boolean type variable can hold Boolean type value, and you declare the variable as bool and assign, you can assign a true or false to it. So if you write W equal to true, sorry about my writing, W equal to true, that is valid. You're storing the true as the value to begin with, just like declaring int type variable X and assigning 5 to it. You can assign true to W to begin with. Now we learned about conversion, right? Int can be converted to float can be converted to int, char can be converted to int. You saw that. Can we convert W, the bool type variable? Yes, bool type variable can be converted to int. You can convert it to float type also, but almost never you need to do that. But converting it to int is something you need sometimes. So let's see that. If you convert true to integer type, then it'll be 1. If you convert false to integer type, it'll be 0. So going back to this example I did here, instead of, I'm going to rewrite that on the board here. So int X equal to 7, Y equal to 4, comma W. So now W is int. And then I say W equal to X greater than or equal to Y. But W is int. Is this valid? Yes, we are converting the value of X greater than or equal to Y into W. X greater than or equal to Y is true. So therefore, what are we going to have in W? What do we have in W?
Would it be 1?
It's 1, yes, because the value true was converted to integer, it's 1. Can I still write if W, then see out yes. Now I'm converting the W back to Boolean. If I put it in an if statement, I'm converting it back to Boolean value. 1 converted to Boolean is true. So it goes back and forth. True converts to 1 and 1 converts to true. But one thing more interesting is if you convert a number to Boolean type, that's backwards, going backwards. If you convert Boolean type to number, then true is 1 and false is 0. But if you go back, then 0 will be false. If you convert number to true or false, then 0 is same as false. Anything other than 0 is true. So not just 1, any other number is going to convert to true. Okay, they have reason to make the language work that way. So you need to keep that in mind. Any number other than 0 will convert to false. So let me give you a quick example. If I write if, let me see, int x equal to 7, y equal to 4. And then I say if x, I wanted to say x, compare x and y to see if they're equal. If they're equal, then see out yes. This is what I wanted to do. But it's a by mistake, a student writes if x equal to y. So that's a condition. It's not a condition anymore. That's assignment, isn't it? You're assigning y to x. And then you're writing C out yes. You would think that this will produce error message because you're not getting a logical value here. X equal to y is an assignment. This is intended statement, but the student writes this. But it will go unnoticed and produce wrong results. Why? Because you're saying, basically what you're saying is assign y to x and use the resulting value as your comparison, as your logical value. So basically the 4 is going to be copied into x. So x now has a 4, and that 4 is being used as logical value. So 4 will convert to true. So therefore this will be true. So this condition is true now, and therefore this cout yes will execute. It'll print yes, but x and y are not equal. So by mistake, you wrote the single equal sign, and it is producing wrong results. So you had to pay attention to such details to make it work right. Okay, I already gave you an example on that. Logical value can be stored in integer type variable. Okay, this is what I stated in the example. 0, if you go backwards, then 0 converts to false, and any non-zero value converts to true. Even negative numbers will convert to true. Okay, let's do this exercise right here. Can you tell me the output of this? Exercise 2. A number will be printed, and what's that number?
Would it be 78?
78. I don't know where you're getting 78. That's too big. We are not finding any exponent or anything. M starts at 5, and then there are numbers added to it. No, 78 is wrong. Nobody can tell what the result will be.
False?
What do you mean false? It's going to see out M. M doesn't have logical value, right? It's going to print M. M doesn't have logical value. It's going to have a number.
Wouldn't M equal to 10?
Okay, so you're saying the cout M will print 10.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Chris has an answer 10. Anything else? Any other answer? Okay, 10 is wrong. You're going to get problems like this in the homework, and you have to be ready. And I'm surprised only one student was able to answer that. It's okay to be wrong. I mean, that's how you learn. Here we are learning. So,
It would be 5, right?
okay, this one student says 5, another student said 10. Any other suggestions? I will eventually explain, but only if you try first, then you will really understand, and it'll really stick to your head only if you try hard. I have 2 answers right now, 5 and 10. All right, no one else is trying.
Would it be true?
What's well, no, the question is what will be printed, and it's
Oh,
not.
will be printed at the end. Okay.
We're printing M, so M doesn't have logical value, so it's going to be a number. You can see that the 0 is the value of W, and when you write W in the parentheses of if, the 0 is being converted to a Boolean value. And what is that? Zero converted to Boolean value is what? It says right there on the board.
False.
True.
False.
Oh no, false, my bad.
Okay, see it's right here. It's highlighted right there. 0 converts to false. So only 0 converts to false. Everything else will convert to true. So this is false right now, right? So let me, both the numbers I got on the board, 5 and 10, are both wrong. All right. Can anybody come up with the right number?
What I don't understand is
Mhm.
it says if, and then it says M. If this is true, then M equals M plus 2, and also M equals M plus 3. So would this even work? How would M be 2 different values at the same time?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's nothing invalid about that. You increase M by 2, and then you increase M by 3 again. There's nothing wrong about
Oh,
that.
you just do it one at a time?
Yeah, you can do it one at a time.
Would it be 15?
No, it would just be 11, right?
Oh, 15
No?
and 11. I don't know where you're coming with 15 and 11. No, no, they're not. All right. Anybody else? Feel free to answer, whatever you got, because, we are only learning here. It's okay to be wrong.
I got 8.
Okay, Andy got 8.
Wait, okay, yeah, 0 is false, so wouldn't it just be 5? Wait, 5 is also wrong, isn't it? Wait,
Yeah, I already said 5 is wrong.
yeah. No, I don't get it.
Yeah, I can understand what you are missing here. The indentation of these statements is misleading you. That's what's happened. The W is false, right? W is 0, so that'll convert to false. So since the condition is false, only this statement is going to be skipped. That is the only one that's inside the if. This statement is outside the if. So this statement is going to be executed regardless. And only one student noticed that. So
How do you tell that just by looking at it? Because it looks like they're both included.
by indentation, right? And that's a misleading thing. Yes,
Is it because they don't have the brackets?
there's no bracket.
Oh man.
There are no brackets means only one statement is inside the if. Okay. I made this problem up to be able to explain that. When you don't have the bracket, you only have one statement inside the if. Indentation doesn't do anything. That's for helping human reader, and that's not going to be doing anything to the system to understand something. So only m equal to m plus 2 will be skipped. So this is going to be executed. So m will be incremented by 3, and therefore you'll be printing 8. All right. Everybody understand that now?
So in order for the if condition statement to work, it has to have brackets, or else the first statement is skipped and the second statement is only calculated.
No. If you're writing if statement with one statement to go inside like this, if WC out yes, nothing wrong with that. Only if you want to have more than one statement inside the if, you need bracket. Okay, so
Yeah,
if
so
you write,
the false only applies to the first statement because there's no brackets. That makes sense.
yeah, so
Right.
only here, this is your if statement. That's all the if statement is. The m equal to m plus 3 is outside. Okay. So another thing I want to mention is, only if you have more than one statement in the if, then write bracket. So for an example, like the previous one here, if you write bracket here, if you write a bracket, it's, so commonly students do that, write a bracket there and another bracket afterwards, like this, closing bracket. Oops, the other one is wrong. It has to be open bracket here and the closing bracket later. Now, this is not wrong if you write that, but the brackets are unnecessary here. It's only making the program look longer and makes things complicated for a reader. So don't do that. If you have only one statement, no brackets. Only if you have more than one statement in the if, then write brackets. All right, keep that in mind. Okay, going back to, yeah. And after that is the warm-up exercise. Yeah, maybe we should do that. The computer supplies dealer sells diskettes at $5.50 per box. When an order is for more than 50 boxes, a discount of 10% applies. Sales tax is computed at 6% on the cost after any discount is applied. So the discount must be applied first, and then sales tax should be computed on the resulting number. That's what it says. So you need to get the number of boxes ordered and then write the bill. You need to get the number of boxes ordered and then write the bill. So some of you watched the video, so you already know. So I'm not going to ask everybody to write this since some of you already know the answer. I'm just going to go over it to make sure you understand it. So you begin with the main. Declare your variables. Always variable declaration should be right at the top. And I notice in some of your projects, you were throwing in declaration whenever you need a new variable. No, that's wrong way of writing program, and you will be penalized in the future. I wanted to warn you first, and that's why I didn't penalize you last time. All declaration must be at the top. That's a rule for the programmers, so that a reader can first understand what variables are there and what the types are and all that. So here I need float type variable for everything, because clearly numbers have fractional values. So float. The price of the diskette box is $5.50. I don't have to store it in a variable. That's a constant for this program. The only variable is the number of boxes. It's going to be a number coming from the user. And so that's the only one I need a variable for. So boxes or order, you can whatever the variable name you like to use. So boxes represent number of boxes. And also I need a variable for storing the bill. So bill, I only need one variable bill. And after adding tax, the bill will be changed. So the same variable bill can hold bill amount before tax and after tax, everything. Do not add too many variables unnecessarily. Okay, now I need to get the number of boxes. So the next statement has to be C out, enter a number of boxes. I have to get the number to be able to do anything. So first thing I had to do is get the data. C in boxes. Now, anytime you write C in statement, you must have a C out statement previous to that that tells the user what is expected. And if you don't do that, I mean, I have seen students writing just C in. They're just kind of lazy to write that C out, and that's not going to be acceptable. Now, after this, the boxes has the value. The variable boxes has the number of boxes ordered. So therefore, the first thing I need to calculate is the bill amount before the taxes. Only after I calculate the bill amount, I can apply the discount to it if the order is for more than 50 boxes. But so before applying the discount or getting into the discount at all, I need to have the bill amount first. So first thing you need to do is calculate the bill. Bill equal to boxes, number of boxes ordered, multiplied by what number? Multiply number of boxes by what number?
0.06.
0.06?
Oh,
No,
no.
1.06.
1.
1. Number of boxes times 1? No,
Wouldn't it be 0.010?
no. Where are you getting these numbers from?
5.50.
5.50. Each box sells for 550. So to get the bill amount, the number of boxes should be multiplied by 550, right? You're expected to know that simple math. So 550 is the price for each box. So whatever the number of boxes ordered times of 550 is your total bill at this point. We had to adjust the bill as we proceed, but this is the bill amount right now. Now we're going to adjust the bill amount by discount. The discount will be 10% only if the order is for more than 50 boxes. If the order was more than 50 boxes, you had to discount the bill by 10%. Okay, can somebody tell me how to write that?
Use an if statement.
Okay, if what do I write in the parentheses?
Boxes.
Boxes, okay.
More than 50.
Greater than 50. Okay, so far. What do I write inside the if? If the number of boxes is more than 50, then you're going to apply a 10% discount to the bill.
You would put the amount and then multiplied by 1.10.
Okay. And then do what with that? You're saying basically multiply bill amount by 1.10. And then do what? You had to complete the statement.
Oh, I'm sorry, a discount of 10%, my fault.
Wouldn't you go to the next line? You do Is it boxes equals,
No, yeah, it would just be the amount, and then you would take that away from it.
The box, you don't discount the number of boxes.
okay,
You discount the bill.
the bill, okay.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying you take the price, you
No,
take the
I'm
price of
answering Adam. He said box is equal to, that
Oh,
means.
yeah, it's bill then. Wouldn't it be bill?
no, I'm not talking about the boxes. Yeah, it would be the bill, and then
Okay,
you would get 10% of that, and then you would take it away.
take away 10% and put it back in bill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you write that? You didn't tell me the statement.
No, sorry, the exact statement.
Okay, I had to
Will it be
multiply.
bill equals to bill times 0.10?
Okay, let me write that in.
I thought it was bill equals bill minus bill times 0.1.
0.1. Okay, you mean 10%, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you said it right. That was Carlos. Okay, and now let me explain the previous answer I got. Bill equal to bill times 0.10. I think that was Neil.
Yeah.
This means you're calculating 10% of bill and putting back in bill. So you are changing the bill amount to 10% of the original number. That's not right. Okay, that's the 10% of the bill should be the discount amount. 10% of the amount is not going to be the new bill. Okay, that's wrong math right there. So this is wrong. You don't replace with 10%. You need to reduce it by 10%. Don't replace it with 10%. Okay. So another student gave me the answer. I think Carlos was.
Yeah,
okay.
bill equals bill minus bill times 0.1.
Exactly. Bill equal to bill minus bill times 0.10. So now what you're doing is, that is the correct answer. Bill times 10.10, that's 10% of bill, should be taken away from bill, and the result should go into bill. Okay, so that is the right way. Now, this can be also written slightly, I mean, those who know math better would write instead the following. Taking away 10% is same as calculating 90% of the original. Or from the original value, you take away 10%, what you get is 90% of the original. So therefore, you could write bill equal to bill times 0.90. Replace bill with 90% of the original value. That's same as taking away 10%. So instead of writing this, if you write that, that'll be correct also. It's just a different way of doing math. Okay, so now if the boxes are more than 50, then the bill has been discounted. If the boxes are not more than 50, the bill has not been discounted. Either way, bill has a number now, right? And that number, you have to have a value in the bill, no matter what. Make sure of that. So by using the bill, as same variable to store the new bill, I made sure the bill has the correct value at this point. If you used the common mistake students make is this: instead of putting bill minus 10% of bill back in bill, they would call this new bill, end bill. I don't know why a lot of students make that mistake. And after that, they write C out end bill, but without realizing that end bill may not have a value. If the condition is
Professor, would bill times 0.10 minus bill be correct too?
no, that would be negative number.
Okay.
That'll become a negative number. So do not create new variable. You need to pay attention to this. If you create a new variable, then that new variable may not get a value, and that'll be a problem. Now moving on, so next step is to apply the taxes. The bill has the right number at this point. It may have been discounted, may not have been discounted, but it has a number. And I need to add taxes. Okay, so that's going to be somebody should be able to tell me now, after doing all this, how do I add taxes?
Wouldn't it be bill times 0.06?
Bill, okay, bill times
0.0.
0.06, okay. What do I do with that number? That's 6% of bill right there.
You reassign it to bill.
Assign that to bill. Then you're only storing 6%.
That would be sales tax.
This is sales tax. So you don't want to put the sales tax as the bill
Oh.
amount. Sales tax should not be the bill amount, right? The sales tax should be added to the bill to get a larger number.
Oh, don't you also have to add bill again?
Add bill to this, yes. And put the result in
Bill.
bill. Now, this is outside the if statement. Okay, it looks like it's inside because I accidentally indented it. But this is outside. It should be lined up with the if. Okay, so anything that's outside should line up with the if. Remember that. It's all because it'll make it easier to read. It'll be clear for someone reading it that this statement is inside the if and this is outside the if only if you line this up with the if. Okay, these are rules you need to follow, and if you don't follow, you'll be losing points in your credit. Remember that. So what is next? What is the next statement to write? The bill is ready now, right?
Print it.
Print it, right. So see out, pay this amount, and the amount is bill. And close. Okay, so we learn to apply the if statement in a program. Right, so that's all we needed to do. So I actually went over the whole lecture because you didn't get to watch the video. So let me now open up, well, we don't have much time, but we'll do whatever we can within the time. Yeah, first, any question from assignment that was recently graded? Okay, then we will do the class exercises as much as we can. Oops, that's the wrong one. Okay, so okay, the first one says if the variable num has some numerical value, write statement to replace it with 0 if it is negative. Can somebody tell me what to write? If it is negative, I need to replace with 0. If num has
If
a
val is less than 0.
num, that's num. Okay, if
Oh yeah, if num is less than 0, then num will equal to
Yeah, 0.
0, right?
yeah.
That's it. Okay, that's
I was going to say -1 times 0, but I just realized it's just 0.
yeah, just 0. Okay, next one. Val has a numeric value. Write C++ statement to increase the value by 10 if the current value is less than 10.
if val less than 10,
Yes. Okay,
then
val equals to val plus 10.
val plus 10, right. Very good. Third one, the variable name letter has an English alphabet stored in it. Write C++ statements that will change it to the alphabet that is 2 places up the list. If the current alphabet is less than X. So if the current alphabet is less than X, current value of the variable letter is less than X, then we want to replace it with 2 letters up the list. So let me explain how to get 2 letters up the list. In the list A, B, C, D, E, in the alphabets, if you want to go 2 letters up from, let's say from B to D, then all you have to do is add 2, because B plus 1 will be C. If I even if I write B in quotes and then add 1, that's a valid statement. Basically, I'm saying add 1 to the value of B. The value of B will be then converted to integer, because this is char type, this is int type, so both will be converted to int, and then 66 will get 1 added, that will become 67. And that is, if you convert it back to character, it's MSC. So if you add 1 to B, it's C. If you add 1 to C, it'll be D. If you add 2 to B, it'll be D. So to go up 2 letters, you just add 2 and convert it back to character. Because when
don't
you
you have
add
to
2,
declare the type?
you don't have to declare any type. No, it's
Okay.
really everything is declared. That's what the program
Okay.
means. Yeah. If the current value of the variable letter is less than X, then you need to replace it with 2 more.
So it's
Uh-huh.
if letter less than
X in quotes,
Yeah.
in
right?
quotes.
Yes. Anytime you use the
Okay.
character data, you need quotes around.
Okay.
Then what?
Then letter equals to character X plus 2.
No,
No,
not
no, it will be letter plus 2.
letter plus 2. We are not, whatever the current value of letter is, you need to add 2 to it. So that'll be letter plus 2. And this is going to change the character value. If the character is C, it'll change it to E. If the value is X, it'll change it to Z. So why is it going to work right? Even though I have number 2 here, the letter has a character value. This is number, so it'll convert both of them to number. And whatever that number is, let's say 68, you're adding the 2 to it. After that, it's a number. So you need to convert it back to character, and we are doing it by assigning it to letter. The letter is a char type, so it is converted to character. All right, so that statement as is fine. Nothing, we don't need any manual conversion. All right. Okay, we have time for one more. So let's do problem number 4. Now you're going to have problems like this in your homework, and so I'm trying to get you prepared. 4 has these little codes, and you need to write the output of. And you will get a whole bunch of problems like this in your test, a whole bunch of them, like 20. And so you need to pay attention. You have already learned that you need to pay attention to every detail, because there can be conversions going on to come up with the right answer. Okay, can anybody tell me the value for the first one? There's no conversion going on in first one. They're all integers.
Would it be 15? No, never mind, never mind.
No, not 15.
Is 4 correct because you're subtracting?
Yes, 4 is correct.
I
A greater
just
than,
realized there's not more than one statement. So that's why I retracted my first answer.
okay, there's only one statement in the if. If A is bigger than B, A is being reduced by B. So A greater than B is true. So 15 minus 11, which is 4, will be stored in A. And so you're going to get 4 printed. So for part A, 4. That's the answer. I have seen in the homework students writing A equal to 4. Are you going to get that printed? A equal to 4? You're not going to get that printed. You're going to get a 4 printed. So don't write that. What exactly you will expect to see on the screen. That's what you're writing. Part B. Anybody?
I feel like I got E.
Right. E is right.
Okay.
X less than Y is true. D less than G is true. And therefore, Y will be reduced by 2. That'll bring you to the letters E. So Y has E. Very good. Part C, anyone?
Would it be 3 and then
3 and true? No, 3 and 1.
Next to each other?
No, it's
below
3 and
3 and
then
then
end
true
line.
under?
Yeah, and then 1.
100. Not true. Someone said true will be printed. No, it's 1.
No, I said 1.
Yes. You said 1. Someone else said true. So anyway, it's not. It's the value C greater than 0 is true, and you're storing that result in D. D is int type, so you're converting the true to
So 1.
integer.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that'll be 1. So therefore, 3 and 1. This is exactly what you should write as your output. Do not write anything else.
And
And
if it was false, it would be 0.
false will be 0, yes, but there's no false in here, right? When you write your output, if the number is a decimal number that will be printed, then you must write the decimal point next to it. So if the number is going to be float type, you must show it as 3.0 with the point. The 0 is there to highlight the fact that there's a decimal point. So remember that. Even though sometimes the computer system, it's a system dependent. Some systems will print the point if the number is float type. Some systems don't. But you're supposed to write the point if it is float type in your answer. Remember to do that. All right. So yeah. Okay. We're good. We don't need to do that, and we're out of time. Someone may have a class here, so. I cannot continue, but this handout, this entire document is there on your Blackboard, and I advise you to do these additional problems for practice. We didn't get the time because we went over the entire lecture. In any case, I'm going to post this lecture video since the other video is not working. You can review this video if you like. All right, I'm going to close here, and so have a nice day, everybody. Now remember, next Wednesday is our exam, and our exam will begin at 9:25 at the class time, but I'll give you extra half an hour after the usual ending time of the class. So you have to have that time available if you like to have extra time. Monday will be the discussion of the practice test or review. It's called review. Review for test 1. I think that's the label for it. And it's there in the supplement area of the Blackboard. And I strongly advise you to print it and do all the problems. The answers are there. So only if you cannot understand why that answer is correct or anything like that, then you need to bring it up.